So very quickly, as we are running out of time, I will make a short presentation of Aerobi, less than 1 hour. So next one. So the project, just to tell you the consortium, but you can read it, I will not detail it. Next one. So the objectives are here. I will not read all the objectives, but the challenges were to have nearly fully automated UAV doing the inspection of a bridge. So the basic challenges were to fly outdoor, of course, with the regulation that we have for UAVs. Second one was to have the capability to fly the UAV autonomously without any GPS signal, because the UAV is always under the bridge. Another challenge is to have a computer vision system to detect all the defects of the bridge. So here the challenge is to have a system that can be easily adapted to various bridges with different shapes, with different colors, with different textures. And finally, to have 3D reconstruction tools in order to produce a new 3D map of a bridge with all the defects. You know that the defects are not a one-shot inspection. It has to be reproduced every X months or years. So we need to keep the trace and the exact location of the defects on the bridge. Next one. Next one is the objective. So the ambition was to have, to integrate on UAV the cameras, of course, for computer vision, but also an articulated arm in order to position very precisely the ultrasonic sensor, which is one of the sensors that we need to measure the defect. The ultrasonic sensor is used to measure the cracks, but we can also install, it was not done in the project, but we can also install a GPR, a ground penetrating radar, in order to check the rebars and the status of the rebars. And this system is, of course, as we are in NIA, a fully integrated system which needs to be operated mostly by the end users. So that means that the fly of the UAV needs to be autonomous, and we don't want that the end user have a capability to pilot precisely the robot. Next one. So here are the challenges. So you see the pictures. In order to navigate without the GPS or GNSS signal, we have designed a hybrid navigation system combining inertial, combining laser, and combining image recognition. So here we achieve something like in the order of 10 centimeters precision. So we have to also to recreate the 3D map of a bridge by clouds using the LiDAR. The second challenge is something that was developed by the University of Seville and Fadakatech, which is, I think, one of the most genius things that we had, because on the top of the articulated arm, they put a platform, and in this case, you know that in ultrasonic sensors, you have to put both feet of the ultrasonic on each side of a crack. Here, in this case, when we touch the bridge, it's the platform, the small platform encompassing the ultrasonic sensor that is piloting the UAV. So the operator can drive a small platform, and the UAV adapt to the move of a platform. And of course, finally, the user friendliness, because everything is integrated in the same workstation, always keeping in track that this project is end user driven. So it means that most of the system has to be operated by the end user. So the end user was Ignatios in Greece, and we were supported by Netivei, an Israeli company that is training everybody on the inspection of bridges, technologies, and process. Next one. So it's an image for children, but just to tell you that we can easily change from one UAV to another UAV. Only the mission preparation and the execution needs to be changed if you change the UAV. The other one is just an adaptation of the connectors. Just to tell you, in the proposal we put that we were developing one UAV and one articulated arm. In the end, we developed 3 UAVs and 2 articulated arms, because we found out that the system needed to be very modular to be adapted. Next one. So the concept of operation is this one. It's a cycle, because in inspection, when it's finished, we keep all the elements to re-prepare the next inspection. So first, the prerequisite is to elaborate a bridge 3D plan with the LiDAR and with the calibration of the plan. Second one is picture capture, so we have a camera on top of a UAV, and the UAV is bringing a full coverage of the bridge, just to have all these images and detect the defects. So the defects are very different, from cracks to spalling to other type of defects. So it's a combination of I would say traditional image processing, but also a deep learning technique. Just to tell you, in the end of the project, we detected everything, including hairline cracks, which are very small. So the system has performances in excess. Now to industrialize it, we need to reduce the number of false positives. After the measure of defects, we have this ultrasonic sensor, but as I said before, it can be replaced by specific sensors. And finally, we integrate all these images with all the related metadata in a bridge status assessment module that will compute the local health of each one of the components of the bridge and extrapolate for the overall status of the bridge. And finally, we update what we call the bridge ID card, which is a file of each bridge in which we have all the defects and all the status. Next one. So how we did it? We did it with two bridges. One bridge is in Spain, in the south of Seville, 150 kilometers south of Seville. And the second one is in Greece, in Strimonas River. Just for people that are good in history, Strimonas River is where the port of Alexander the Great was located, the war harbor. So one of the bridges in Spain, we didn't know anything about it. It was not documented. It was just chosen by our civil partners, but we don't have any map, we don't have any status. Whereas the Egnatia Odos bridge in Strimonas is highly documented because this bridge is not dating from Alexander the Great, but from 1967, so there are a lot of defects. It's 1 kilometer from the sea, so there are a lot of things that are going very bad, especially the status of the rebars that are highly corroded. Next one. So we developed, as I say, 3 UAVs, one on the left side, top, which is a small one, with 2 propellers, and we use it for the measurement of the flexion. So to measure the flexion, we loaded the bridge with 3 trucks and see the difference with unloaded. We are using a total station, so we put a prism on this small UAV, and we are using the laser in the total station. Here we use the suction effect of the UAV, so the propellers of the UAV are creating suction, so we can stick the UAV under the bridge. Second one, AR1, is the baby one that we can use only with cameras. So it's a sub-assembly of the whole system. So if you want to do just visual inspection, you use this one. It's 1 meter diameter. And the last one is the complete one with the articulated arm. So it's more than 2 meter diameter plus an articulated arm of more than 2 meters. So the challenge, as you know, is to adapt the stability of the UAV. So this articulated arm is not creating any trouble with the navigation of the UAV. Next one. So the impact of the application domain, you know it. There are not so many systems for the bridge inspection. Maybe there will be a lot after what happened in Genova. But for one, we have an obvious accessibility improvement. So we can go on high bridges, under high bridges, whereas on manual method, you need people, alpinists or so on. We can go above the water. Of course, we didn't do it because the University of Seville didn't want to have one of the UAV inside the water, but it's possible in industrialized way, it's possible. We are not obliged to close the road. One of the characteristics of the safety device of the UAV is we forbid the UAV to go above the road level, so the road traffic can continue during the inspection. Transportability, we have only one ground control station, so you put the UAV and the ground control station inside a van or even a big car, and you can operate it. Of course, you need to have the power production system also, because it's electrical. The inspection is done in 15 minutes for a span of a bridge, compared to several hours for manual method. And of course, there is a huge money saving. It was computed by the end user, Ignatius Odos, that probably they could save 1 million euros per year using this system. And a quick structural assessment was the last item of the project. It's not robotics. It's just equations, mathematical equations. The problem is it's very difficult, and the TRL for this is quite low, so the recommendation was probably not to integrate completely this. It needs to be chosen by the end user. Next one. So that's it. So it's very quick, as you can see.